The challenge to climate in Asia, climate change and Asia. Towards the end of the 20th century, man has been engaged with the challenge of human-induced or anthropogenic acceleration of climate change. Since a large part of tropical Asia is plagued by deficient development quotient, the industrial growth has been actually aided by politico-economic mechanisms. Industrial growth offers vast employment opportunities, export potential and trickle-down effect of economic growth. Economic growth facilitates higher standard of living and a salvation from poverty that plagues the Asian continent so much. Industrial growth has meant higher production, higher consumption of raw materials and natural resources, higher employment rates, increase in consumption patterns and a higher standard of living. But the flip side of high economic growth is air pollution, increasing urban congestion, slums, acute water shortage, wide disparities between the rich and the poor, increase in urban crime and decay. Traffic snarls in urban areas are another source for the 21st century vicious circle. More economic power and higher consumption means more cars and private vehicles. More vehicles means more fossil fuel usage and need for more roads. Lesser number of public transport vehicles is another irony. More roads means cutting more trees and more utilization of urban spaces for vehicular traffic. More vehicles on the increasing width of roads means there is lesser space for both human beings and urban greenery. That increases pollution and expedites climate change due to global warming. Global warming is having deleterious and catastrophic consequences on wildlife, forests and biodiversity reserves, agricultural production, mean temperatures in different regions, monsoon and rainfall patterns. Winters are becoming either extremely harsh or completely washed out. Similarly, there appears to be a sea change in mean summer temperatures in many parts of the world. While floods are increasing, there are also droughts. Snowfall was recorded in the most unlikely of places in 2010 in Egypt. Climate change is heralding an era which will change crop patterns and food consumption patterns. Food riots led to regime change in the Arab world in early 2011. China and India are the countries that are pushing the vestiges of climate change, justifying the thrust on 9 to 15% economic growth. China is constructing one new thermal power plant per week. Thermal energy and all other sources of carbon monoxide emissions are contributing to global warming, heralding climate change. It is expected that the global climate will be significantly warmer by 2050. Igniting the planet is the fossil fuel emissions and all other sources of emissions: cooking stoves, refrigerators, air conditioning machines, all mechanized engines, even the carbon that obtains from organic decay fuel global warming. Average temperatures will increase by 5 to 7 degrees centigrade in the tropics, it has been predicted. Carbon monoxide emissions from vehicular congestion in Asia's vast urban slums, industrial chimneys, thermal power plants, wrongful utilization of heat generating appliances have all contributed to marked increase in average temperatures both in the atmosphere and in the ocean currents. This has led to climate change. Noticeable variations in mean summer and winter temperatures and a marked difference in the monsoon patterns. In fact, the increase and intensity of floods and droughts has had such a drastic impact on food production that the increase in price of food grains and agricultural production has led to food riots, spiraling inflation, and has started heralding a socio-economic and political revolution. It led to regime change in the Arab world. The harsh changes in monsoon and rainfall patterns have led to a rethink on the cyclical or repetitive process of climate change. Insufficient research has gone into the phenomenon of El Niño and La Niña. The currents of El Niño and La Niña have literally brought about sea change in the monsoon drift, affecting the weather pattern in tropical Asia, Australasia and South America. The cyclical occurrences of both El Niño and its corollary, the La Niña, are, as of now, still under-researched. If the cyclical patterns of El Niño, La Niña and climate change are well researched and documented, the least we can do is prepare for the ecological disaster coming.